I never thought my life would change so quickly. One moment, I was a schoolboy dreaming of becoming a journalist. The next, I was staring at the cold, hard truth of life without my father. My name is William, and this is my story. It began on a Saturday morning. My father, Papa, was taking a car he had just finished fixing for a test drive. That was his routine: fix, test, deliver. He always said, if you do something, do it well. Those words echoed in my mind as I heard the news later that afternoon. A reckless bus driver, speeding to overtake another car, had collided head-on with my father. He didn't survive. When they told me, it felt like the world stopped spinning. The garage, his pride and joy, was now quiet, the tools gathering dust. My dreams of writing and interviewing important people felt distant, almost silly. How could I afford to continue school without him? 2 weeks after the funeral, Uncle Kwame came to visit. He was one of those people who could walk into a room and make it feel smaller. His presence was that big. He didn't waste time with small talk. "William," he said, sitting me down under the mango tree, "you know life is not always about what we want. It's about what we can do with what we have." I nodded, unsure of where this was going. "Your father left you more than memories. He left you a skill, a trade. That garage is your inheritance." "But uncle," I said, my voice shaking, "I don't know how to fix cars like Papa did. I want to be a journalist." "Dreams don't die, William," he said, looking me straight in the eye. "But sometimes, they wait. For now, you need to focus on what will put food on the table." I didn't want to agree, but I knew he was right. The next day, I stood in Papa's garage. The smell of grease and metal was strong, the tools lined up neatly, just the way he left them. I felt out of place, like I didn't belong there. Kofi, my father's old apprentice, was already waiting for me. "Don't worry, Will," he said, clapping me on the shoulder. "I'll teach you everything I know. Your father taught me, and now it's my turn to teach you." I spent the first week sweeping the floor, fetching tools, and watching Kofi work. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work. Slowly, I began to learn. Kofi showed me how to change oil, fix brakes, and diagnose engine problems. One afternoon, a woman came to the garage with her car. "It's making a strange noise," she said, looking doubtful. "Are you sure you can fix it?" Kofi wasn't around, and it was up to me to figure it out. I felt the weight of her stare as I opened the hood. Sweat dripped down my back as I examined the engine, my father's words ringing in my ears, "If you do something, do it well." It took hours, but I found the problem, a loose belt, and fixed it. When the car started smoothly, the woman smiled for the first time. "You're just like your father," she said. That moment felt like a small victory, but it also reminded me of the big shoes I had to fill. Not everyone believed in me. Some of the boys in the neighborhood laughed when they saw me in the garage. "William the mechanic," they teased. "Didn't you want to be a big journalist?" What happened? Their words stung, but I didn't let them see it. I kept working, determined to prove them wrong. Months passed, and I began to take on more responsibility at the garage. Kofi started calling me a boss, even though I still felt like an apprentice. One day, a man in a sharp suit drove in with a sleek black car. "I hear you're the best around," he said, handing me the keys. I smiled. "We'll see about that." It was the most complicated job I'd ever done, replacing the transmission. It took me 3 days, but when the car roared to life, the man shook my hand. "You have a gift," he said. "Keep at it." That night, I sat under the stars, thinking about my life. Being a journalist was still my dream, but I realized something important: fixing cars wasn't just a job. It was a way to make a difference, just like writing stories. My father's trade had become my own, and I was proud of it. This is my story, the story of how I found my path, even when life took me in a direction I never expected.